so that started the whole phase that I'm in now, about 13 or 14 years later. And so I was traveling around, and I was we were in Puerto Rico to start, and then we went down to Colombia and to Ecuador and to Mexico, and everything was really fun, but I was getting really tired of traveling because every weekend we were in a different city, and I was just tired. It was just many years of travel by this point. So I felt the Cali Colombia community really open to me. I was able to teach a lot of Accra and started to be able to teach yoga in one of the schools there as well. And just started to plan my life there because it was a very nice place to be. Everybody's so super happy. And then in about 10 years ago, when I was having just this like huge crisis in my life, just had fallen. And even though after meeting all these famous yoga teachers and being in big yoga conferences and traveling all over the world, I realized I just wasn't living consciously. I didn't have as many role models, or the ones that were living consciously. I wasn't able to really get close to really what they were teaching. And I was just living as this yoga teacher, and I was already well known in the world, but I really felt like I was lacking something because I was suffering and I was making other people suffer. And right in that moment, there was this opening where Chaitanya, who is the director of the school that I'm a part of now, and my husband, he came through. I'd heard of him for many years in the South America teaching community, and he came to come teach in Cali. And at that time I had this house that was open for yoga, and yoga teachers would come through and stay, and volunteers. And I always wanted to leave a room for traveling yoga teachers because I knew what it was like to travel and just to be received well. And so I'd heard of Chaitanya for many years and had even spoken to him, had met his family. And so he was coming to teach in Cali, and one of his students was living with me at the time. And so he said, hey, should we host Chaitanya? I said, yes. And so Chaitanya came through, and really just, I felt like this great teacher coming into my reality. And little by little in the next months started talking and understanding what he was teaching. And it really was the first person that I was close to that I could feel was living day to day this really sacred yogic life, because he had been doing this for over 30 years. He went to go live in ashrams when he was 16, a lot of time just living as a renunciant monk, starting different projects. So really going deep, staying with his guru, being in India, studying Vedic astrology. So he started to pass on all this information to me, and I needed to do a lot of just purifying, not in this like we're sinful so we need to purify, but just like I felt like there was all this dust in my heart, dust in my third eye. And what he was sharing with this Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, and chanting practices, and the philosophy of yoga really taught so deeply and practiced deeply, it just started to fulfill me. It took about a year, I feel, to go through that transition. And at the time before meeting him, or as I was meeting him, I was really connected to my body, really connected to the physical practice as my identity. And I said, hey, I can just be another one of those like just focus on our body, yogi, sexy yoga teachers out in the world, or I can go deep and share something and empower other women and be a model for something deeper. And so it took about a year to go through that transition where I'd like make sure everything was covered, wouldn't spend time alone with men, just like really going to the other extreme to get to my center. And so about 9 years ago, through that inspiration, I opened up the other ashram with the support of Chaitanya in Cali. And then after a year of holding that space and having trainings there, is like this big house, but I felt like everybody's on top of everybody. The inspiration came to get a farm, and the farm just completely manifested. The inspiration came through a Sunday. By the next Thursday, I had found the farm, and everything just was magical in terms of how how much it costs, and then the payment plans, and the whole community coming in to paint and to get everything ready, because we were able to move in and then have a course within like 2 weeks or 3 weeks with over 20 people in this space. And I had about 5 people living in tents for a few months. Like, it was just like everybody inspired and on this mission together. And that's how Yoguis Ashram came together in Cali. It's a beautiful place. It's just about 50 minutes up the mountain with panoramic views. And yeah, super close to Cali, but you don't feel Cali. So that's Yogendra. And so through different phases with that, and pregnancies and babies, just going on more of a yin journey and restorative journey, and taking my teacher trainings with that, and also my parents getting older, so getting more into yoga therapy and chair yoga, and just being able to put together these different programs to teach to people. So I connected with Chaitanya 10 years ago and began to assist him in his 200-hour teacher trainings, which is all focused on vinyasa and alignments, which is what I was studying and practicing in the world, and then all this partner yoga aspects, and then we added in the yin and the restorative, and so I was able to develop these teacher trainings for after 200 hours, so the more advanced teacher trainings of yoga therapy, of acro yoga, and group dynamics. And the tour to India we've been doing also for about 9 years, minus the couple of years there in pandemic. So people can train with us in India and go and see all the roots of India with people who have been traveling to India. I've been going for over 15 years. He's been going for, more than that, probably like 20, 25 years. So we bring our students who want to go every October. And then I also do Ayurveda and cooking certification courses, and Thai massage. I'm one of the only Thai massage trainers here in South America, so I do those courses here in the other ashram we have in Peru, where I am right now, in the Sacred Valley of Cusco, and in Cali as well. So I am a mom. I have a couple young girls, so I'm usually just between here and Cali and India. Chaitanya does travel more. I used to travel more, but it's nice to be more grounded and just go slower in my practice and cook from our land. We have a beautiful garden, solar energy, composting toilets. So it's beautiful to see just how the whole path has come together. I definitely did not know how it was going to come together.